crikey! How's it going, my fellow Homo sapiens? It's your boy, Hadou, and I'm coming at you with a Gantz manga review. That's right, Gantz G, Chapter 2, At the Zoo. Let's jump right into it. Man, this is great. I'm loving this new Gantz spinoff, this Gantz G manga. So if you haven't read the manga, please read the manga because I'm definitely going to be putting some spoilers in this review right here. So the chapter opens up where it left off, where the students, they're all just kind of sitting in front of the zoo like, how do we get here? Where are we? So we have the senseis and we have the guide. They're like, hey, you know what? There's a train station down this way. We can find a payphone. Let's go ahead and dip out. You have the two people earlier in the room who wasn't actually part of the school bus. I'm not for sure is one of them a girl or are they both guys. The art right now is still very early. Now, I believe the senseis and the guide said something like they're guys, so we're going to just kind of say they're guys. So the two guys, they're like, hey, if you go that way, if you attempt to escape, you'll die. Hands down. That's just enough information. And they're like, whatever about these kids. Come on, kids, let's go ahead and go. We're going to find a payphone. You know, I'm going to call my job, let them know that we didn't get to go on the field trip. Maybe we just let them know we came to the zoo or something of that nature. And I'm thinking to myself like, hey, listen, these guys, you know nothing about this set. If you leave, you'll die. Yes, they have these funny looking suits on, but maybe you should ask them some more questions. So everyone's walking away, you know, they're getting ready to leave. And, you know, everyone's like, yeah, we can go home. The train station's this way. And out of nowhere, you start to hear this ringing in the ears, this beeping. And like the original series, people start complaining. What is that noise? And as they get farther, it gets louder. They're like, who ringtone is this? Who fucking ringtone is this? Turn your ringtones down, please. And as the senseis and the guide, as they walk ahead, out of nowhere, their head just explode. Boom! Their brains just scatter all over the place, and everyone just starts to panic, and they start to haul ass back to the zoo. And as they running back, a lot of the other students' heads is just exploding, their skulls and their brains just shattering all over the place. Oh man, that's what I love about Gantz the most. It's the gore. To see these kids just get slaughtered because they didn't pay attention. They was not listening. They was like, oh yeah, okay, screw these guys. We're going to go home. And their heads start to explode. So they get back in front of the zoo. They're all panicking. They're sweating. They're like, oh my God, what's going on? Some's throwing up. I'm like, what's throwing up going to do for you? Then we have Nike. Now, if you don't remember Nike from the first chapter, Nike was the boy on the bus who I said seemed really, what's the word? Not feminine, but he seemed very weak, kind of. He seemed like the person to swing on, the person that was going to be very geeky. But in this chapter, he did a 180. So Nike pretty much says, hey, you know, everyone who has a case, come to me. You know, everyone who has a case, please circle up. And what I noticed about this chapter is Nike, he's really taking charge in this chapter. I mean, he was really just kind of putting everything together and really just being the leader. Now, I really felt like Corona was the main character, was going to be the main character of this series, but now looking at Nike, he just seemed really badass. I mean, he was just really getting these people together. He was really kind of putting out some commands and things of that nature. So he was saying that, okay, everyone who has a case, line up, let's get together. Let's open them up. I believe that these cases, these suits protect our bodies some type of way. I believe that we have to put these suits on and we have to fight. We either fight or we're going to die. So one thing that I noticed about Nike is he's letting people know, like, hey, maybe we should listen to these two guys earlier who was telling us the rules of this. Maybe we should follow their lead. Let's put these clothes on and let's do this together. So you have the guy on the side, one of the students from earlier on the side who kind of was bad-mouthing the two guys who had the suit on. You know, it was like, hey, man, are they cosplay? Man, that shit kind of look kind of gay. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at these skin-tight black suits, you know, like, nah, man, I'm not into that. I'm not into that S&M type stuff. And now he's sitting there kind of shaking like, hey, man, so everyone who doesn't have a suit's going to die? He's seeming kind of worried now. It's like, I could have swore last chapter, you was making fun of these people who had the suits on, So now you're kind of worried that you don't have a suit, you're going to die. And I'm thinking to myself, that's just how Gantz is. The weak dies. The strong dies. Everyone dies. But if you got a suit, you have a higher chance of surviving. So Nike says, you know what? We got 6 people. We can break up into groups, and we're going to protect the people who don't have suits. So everyone who has a case, who have a suit, and who have weapons, please get together. Let's do this. So you got people that's like, why do I have to protect everybody? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I have to protect people? You got other people that's like, I'm not putting this suit on. You got this girl that's like, I'm not putting this suit on. It's not fashion enough. I'm like, really? Really? Your life is in danger. Your professor, your teacher, and the guy who was driving the bus just got his head blown off. And you're whining and bitching because this suit do not look good on you? Really? So you have some people that went and put the group, you had people like Corona and her friend that went on ahead, put the suit on, and came back to Nike. Nike, he ain't waste no time. He ain't have to go to the man's bathroom. That man, he went on ahead and put his suit on. And you have them pretty much lining up, getting ready to go in the zoo and really get this thing popping. And then you had the other group who had like the guns and who had some suits but didn't put it on. Like, we're just going to find another exit and just leave. And I'm like, well, leaving before didn't work. You saw what happened when you tried to leave before. Your head got blown off, and now you're looking for another exit. So they're inside the zoo. They're walking around. So this is the other group. They're inside the zoo. They're walking around. They don't have suits on, but there are 2 members in the group that have 2 guns. So they're walking, and out of nowhere, you start hearing this crowing. Like, crow, crow. You're like, what is that noise? And you look, and there's like this bird-looking creature with like a different type of head. Now, in my experience in Gantz, that means either shoot or run. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just sit there and like, hey, what is this little peacock-looking thing? Don't let your curiosity get to you. Curiosity kills the cat. You know what I'm saying? Like, please, do not stand there and look at it. And out of nowhere, you start to see more animals start to pull up. You see these little owl heads start to roll over. Like, cool. They look cute, like you want to pet them. Now, once again, you're in the Gantz world. Because it looks cute doesn't mean it's cute. It might look cute and it's deadly. You know what I'm saying? It's deadly. You need to run. Start shitting yourself and run, or start unleashing on these cats. Because if I remember right, the original gun, I believe like the smaller gun has a lag. So if you shoot an object or you shoot something, it's going to take a second before it explodes. You know what I'm saying? So they're all sitting there, and all these little animals are starting to creep up. All these little weird and funny little animals are starting to surround them. And you see one animal, his tongue's is hanging out, it's swinging all over the place. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you just allowed these creatures to surround you. Really? Like, really? Come on, man. Come on now. You let these things surround you. This is not a good look. This is bad news for you. And then finally, out of nowhere, this big gorilla busts through the gate, and he stands there. Some of the students fall down. They're like, oh my goodness. And then it has a title. It says, will they shoot or will they be eaten? And then it goes off. And I'm like, oh no, I gotta wait till a whole nother month. I gotta wait till 2016 to find out what's going to happen. So let's talk about the pros and cons of this chapter. Now, overall, once again, I felt like this chapter was a great chapter. Gantz G, chapter 2, at the zoo. I really enjoyed this chapter. They didn't get to the Beast King, but I did feel like it did have some character development. And that character development, I really felt like it was Nike. And the main reason is that he took control. He started to get people together, and he started to let them know, hey, maybe we have to follow the rules. Maybe we need to listen to these 2 people who told us the information ahead of time. So I really feel like Nike's group is going to be one of the groups that might survive. It's really hard to say who's going to survive in Gantz and who's not going to survive, because anyone could get slaughtered. But I really feel like with Nike, you got Nike and you got Corona, and to me personally, Corona is fucking badass so far. So I want to know, I think that their group is going to survive somewhat. The other group that just rushed into the zoo, no suits, just some guns, I feel like most of them is going to get fucked. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like these animals is going to shred them to pieces. But I do feel like someone might survive. I do feel like maybe one of the guys who has a gun, one of the girls, or maybe two of the girls is going to survive out of that, and they're going to make their way back to another group or make their way back to Nike's group. Now, overall, I felt like a lot of stuff didn't really happen in this chapter, and this is probably a con. I mean, the blowing up they had, I think a lot of Gantz people who read the manga or watch the anime knows about that, so I think that it's good to kind of see it again, but we already kind of know this stuff happens. When you attempt to leave the battlefield in Gantz, you're going to die. But I was hoping that we were going to get more about the story, and really we're still kind of at the same spot, even though it's only chapter 2. I admit it's only chapter 2. I'm not trying to be really aggressive with my reviewing with the manga, but even though it's only chapter 2, we really didn't move too far in there. The only thing I really felt is, okay, we got Nike. He's actually talking now. He's actually taking charge. People put some of the suits on. They're getting a group together, and they're getting ready to go after the Beast King. So overall, I enjoyed the manga. I liked it. Not a lot of cons. I felt like it was a lot of pros in this manga. Very great. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give this manga overall a 7 out of 10. Yes, that's right, a 7 out of 10. The art was great. The art was not bad at all. Overall, it was just great. I really can't complain. But that's all I have for you today. If I left something out, please let me know in the comment box below. Please rate, subscribe, and comment. It really helps the channel. Thanks for watching. Matane.